When people are looking for new music to listen to, they go to the only trusted source, AMVs. Eminem once said the rap industry would have collapsed years ago without the assistance of AMVs. I know for those watching this video, it's difficult to face hard truths, but if we're being honest with ourselves, we all know that AMVs have been serving as life support for the rap game, keeping the industry relevant one shaky, oversaturated edit at a time. For those who don't know, AMV is an acronym that stands for Anime Music Video. It's a simple concept to grasp. Take a song and edit together various anime scenes in an attempt to fit the mood of the song. But if you've had any interest in anime over the past decade, I'm sure you're already familiar with the genre, whether you wanted to be or not. What's interesting about AMVs is that they're about as old as YouTube itself. We all remember those cringe-inducing 144p AMVs from 2008 that resembled more of a PowerPoint presentation than an actual music video. Times may have changed, but one thing is clear. AMVs are still an established genre on this platform. Established, but dying. And to figure out the reasons for that decline, it's important to reflect on the genre's history. The golden age of AMVs covers an expanse of time that is actually quite large. In my personal opinion, I would say AMVs have ruled the roost from the early days of YouTube up until a few years ago. I mean, how many times over the years did you see some amalgamation of anime scenes tossed over a Linkin Park banger? And it's not exactly a scarce industry. There's always going to be new songs and infinite anime scenes that can be used as building blocks for videos. As a result, it was a very popular genre with many large and stable accounts, consistently releasing this type of content. I know I've already memed on the quality of AMVs, but I will acknowledge that at least with the skilled creators, the quality of these videos really stepped up over time. The 5 FPS slideshows turned into respectable content that actually made an attempt to tell a visionary story that fit the theme of the song and the purposes of the video. But AMVs suffered from a vulnerability that they could not remedy. It's a genre that couldn't adapt to evolving standards. In this case, it wasn't society standards or the viewer standards, but the standards set by YouTube itself. And as we all know, unless you're peddling life hacks, kids' toys, or whatever this is, the YouTube algorithm is going in on you raw, no rubber. And such was the case with our beloved pastime of AMVs. And I think it comes with no surprise. The kryptonite of AMVs was copyright. In these current times, AMVs and copyright are about as synonymous as hentai and tentacles. As anime villains like UMG and Sony rolled in, AMV producers found themselves in an indefensible position. As a personal anecdote, I will tell you my own experience with copyright. I know that the OG followers are fully aware, but at one time I was an anime crack, anime vine, anime meme, or whatever you want to call it kind of a channel. For those who don't know, anime cracks were a fancy name for anime memes, but I don't know why they were called that other than the fact that that's just what people expect them to be called. My goal at the time was to make anime cracks that were dank enough to give 12-year-olds a reason to hit like or subscribe. And you don't have to know the full lore of this channel to know that my skills as a memer were top tier, bringing in all the males ages 10 to 24. Like seriously, only males. However, even my status as an internet celebrity was not enough to avoid the iron grip of YouTube and all of the music studios it's subservient to.
Then check this out.
One routine that was common on my channel was releasing anime crack compilations every few weeks or so. And it may surprise people, but I made over 60 unique videos on this channel, and before I quit the genre, I had over 10 compilations of that related content. As YouTube tightened its copyright clamps on my channel, and before I had them taken down, literally all 10 of those compilations received in one form or another a copyright claim, taking virtually all of the revenue of those videos. What was sad was the majority of these claims could be boiled down to 3 or 4 seconds of audio clips that were used on a particular 10+ minute video. Although some improvements have been made to the copyright system in recent weeks, historically a massive corporation like UMG could claim 100% of the ad revenue for a video based on only a few seconds of copyrighted content. Let's compare my experience to that of AMVs. Finding copyright on my channel was like finding a turd in a haystack. It had to be manually detected by some intern at UMG. But with AMVs, the entire video is automatically detected and claimed the second it goes live, which causes 2 problems. First, people can't make money off of their AMVs, at least not directly through YouTube. I know that there's some people out there that'll make content regardless of whether they're paid or not, and they'll find other ways to fund their time. But I have to imagine this discourages at least some people from trying, or at the very least dampens their motivation to consistently upload. Second, and in my opinion the more important problem, is that these channels live on very shaky ground. Literally every video they have could be taken down at any moment. This includes not just claims, but also copyright strikes that could get your channel terminated. And all it takes is a company like UMG to make a move and it's over. And believe me, I'm sure they'll feel really bad about the situation while they wipe their tears away with $100 bills. To make matters worse, the source of their claims are audio. You can almost always defend yourself against a claim directed at visual images or video clips as long as you have even the smallest original contribution to it. But audio, on the other hand, especially full songs, there's no defense. It sounds stupid, but that's the stance YouTube has taken on the matter. Under this framework, it's easy to understand why a person might be discouraged from building a channel revolving around AMVs. I also think it's important to note the shift in how companies treat videos using their copyrighted music. In the past, the go-to move was to either remove the video or strike the channel in an attempt to protect the artist and the brand. But now as companies increasingly exchange their professional integrity for new ways to line their pockets, they have seen the value of leaving the videos up, but claiming all of the revenue. And they will do this to channels big or small. And I've been asked this before. What's the point of claiming videos from small channels that may only get a few thousand views? You have to understand, companies like UMG claim literally thousands of videos a day. They are making a fortune a few pennies at a time. So this has led to an ironic twist where more recent AMVs have actually developed more longevity than they have traditionally based on this new approach. So that's the apotheosis. That's my breakdown of AMVs. Now I know you're sitting at your computer frothing at the mouth thinking to yourself, Rev, I'm glad you gave us the lore behind the subject, but what's your personal opinion on AMVs? Alright, tuck away your chubs and get ready, cause Rev's gonna give you a hot take. I don't really care about them. I don't really like them, but I don't really hate them either. There have been a few AMVs over the years I've liked, but I would go back to rewatch them and guess what? They're gone. My biggest problem with AMVs is not what they are, but what they have become. Despite the few good ones that are out there, there's a linchpin of recycled garbage serving as the foundation of this genre. There's literally an endless stream of carbon copies using the same scenes over and over and over again. I mean, how many times can you see the same Naruto scenes with the same shaky camera effect over a rap song before it gets old? And that brings me to my next point, the editing in AMVs. Which is a weird topic because on the one hand, the whole point of an AMV is to add in edits to make it visually entertaining. But on the other hand, over-editing can make it unwatchable. Too many times do I find myself saying, great, I'm glad you figured out how to use the glow effect or the speed remapping in Vegas, After Effects, or whatever overpriced software people are using. Those are neat tools, but do you really have to use them so excessively that by the end of the video I've blown out my retinas and had 3 seizures? I've also noticed a lot of people putting a copyright disclaimer at either the start of the video or in the description. Just stop. That has absolutely no legal authority. Or at least it's been the long-standing precedent that this has no authority on YouTube. Do you actually think anyone attempting to claim the video will see this and be like, uh-oh guys, let's not mess with this creator. He must be an experienced attorney if he's putting us on notice with that copy pasta statement. As a quick word of advice, try not to get into a legal battle with YouTube or music companies. As unfair as their practices may be, and as righteous as you may feel about it, 99.99% of creators are not ready to pursue that route with entities that have infinitely more resources than you. Now to my next point, which is a bit of a side note, but I've always wondered what these musicians think whenever they see someone using their songs to create an AMV. Like the artist is scrolling through YouTube and is wondering why some dude put cartoons over his song. Finally, I will address the whole cringe factor of AMVs. And to put it simply, if you look at AMVs and draw a line in the sand and say, that's too cringe for me, good for you. But if you want to classify AMVs as cringe, well then just about anything anime related is going to fit in that same category. I mean, if it's an AMV over nightcore music, yeah, maybe you're right to call it cringe. Again, I can enjoy an AMV here and there, but it's not something I can really get into. But I salute their efforts, at least the ones asserting some level of creativity and editing skill. And let's face it, it's not easy to be an established genre on YouTube for all of these years. So you have to at least give them that. So at this point, I'm going to end my public service announcement and call it a video. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure to turn on those notifications to be instantly disappointed when I upload my next video. Follow me on Twitter for more bad jokes. And if you're jealous of the Chads listed on the right side of the screen, check out my Patreon to see how you can get your name added to the list. See you next time.